Oh, go? Yeah. Let's remind ourselves if we talk about current events, I'll be erased. Howdy, Cedric. Great to see you. Yes, if you watched real closely, you can see my hair is getting more and more out of control. So is this show. Hey, what do I care? I don't. That's the part where I really like it. Cedric, great to see you, sir. I always enjoy seeing you. One rule today. Just one sidebar rule. Please, nobody get off onto current events, things that are happening here in America. There are some really head-scratching WTF moments. And I am sorry if y'all really want to talk about some sort of craziness that's going on in the news right now, about some sort of Biden administration doing something with crack pipes. I don't want to talk about it. Unless, of course, you have a source inside C&D or Sutliff, and they have a quote-unquote new blend that is ready to go. If you haven't heard about that news, it was delivered to me this morning on my phone by Google. So if I wasn't supposed to talk about that, YouTube, please tell your parent company, Google, to stop sending me crap like that. It's the weirdest damn shit. Okay, the Biden administration says, no, they're not going to hand out crack pipes. But if you read the letter of what has been funded, $30 million, it's something about doing no harm and trying to make sure that people who are addicted to crack can have pipes that are not already contaminated by other people. I read through the documentation, and I'm sorry, but this is like some weird as blankety blank 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 crap. And I'm sorry, I don't see how it should be great for United States of America citizens, taxpayers specifically, to have to go and pay for these people who have chosen to become addicted to an illegal drug. There's a whole lot of people out there right now, all over Twitter and YouTube and this, that, the other, that'll flat out look you square in the eye and say, oh, you don't get vaccinated. Well, if you get sick, you just need to die. You don't need to go to the hospital. And Well, okay, fine. You know what? Hey, if you got yourself addicted to crack, you don't need to go to the hospital and waste taxpayer money on that stuff. So there it goes. Just let's follow through on that. Let's just go ahead and cancel culture everybody until nobody is left alive here in the United States. That seems to be the route that people are going with this. And past that, I don't want to talk about this anymore today because the whole issue just kind of really gets me upset. By the way, howdy, Mark. Yes, I did read the bill, and there is a lot of craziness in that. And Jose Golf Piper, howdy, sir. Great to see you, sir. Ooh, got a cigar lounge up there in Green Bay. That sounds mighty fine. Also, y'all get good football up there, unlike here in Houston. But hey, I'm a Raiders fan. My team at least made it to the playoffs. Yeah, Mark, it's some craziness. It's some craziness, and just being honest, if y'all think that anything that I've said so far about the Biden administration doing $30 million for handing out various different things is in any way, shape, or form a lie, you'll have to prove me wrong point for point. But it's in there. It's in there. I read the damn papers. Because I was wanting to know what in the hell 30 million of taxpayer money is going for. And are these people on Fox even halfway reporting the truth? Or is it just some sort of sensationalism? But then I saw it from CNN also. They had a little bit of a different spin, saying that this new bill is having Republican leaders saying that it's just for handing out crack pipes. No, it's not for just handing out crack pipes. There's also supposed to be something about various different tests that they're going to make available for free, and possibly condoms. But you know what? Nobody gives a shit about the condoms. Condoms are freaking cheap anyways. Good Lord. It's just crazy. Howdy, Paul. Great to see you, sir. Now, I am not trying to be some sort of bearer of bad news, this, that, the other. But that was the headline that Google wanted me to look at on my phone this morning when I woke up. So I just yeah. Why can't they put a story out about, like, hey, this guy in Houston that acts like he's a little bit off of his rocker. He's not really as crazy as people think he is, because look at what's in the news right now. Holy crap. Guess he was right about a few things. And Paul, I have no idea what they're thinking, because let's just be honest. By the time people get to the point where they're worried about a crack pipe, they ain't worried about damn COVID or nothing else. They are just worried about getting another rock so that they can cook it on up and smoke it on down. Said, I agree with you. Pass out the tobacco pipes. I would be much better. Signalman Tony, howdy, sir. Great to see you. Suddenly, it looks like my wife is getting another package from Amazon. Yeah, it's what it appears to be. Give me a second. Watch the cats run.
Yeah. Holly?
Well,
You're not,
I am not.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yes.
Correct address.
Supposed to hide it from the husband.
Oh, well, that just means that I can put it right there and wait for a minute.
Yeah. I've seen doormats said, please hide the packages from my husband.
Well, it's her money. I can't do nothing about her. You take care, sir. Doesn't hurt to being nice to the delivery people. If they know that I'm out here at all hours of the night, they also know, hey, he's a good guy. It's all good. Let's see here. I'm going to roll back a few screens. All right. Okay, so how the heck is the YTPC tonight? You know, I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. Boris is not on crack. Oh, Boris Johnson. Okay. Whew. I thought you were talking about Boris. I was going to have to reach through this phone and slap the crap out of you there, Paul. Howdy, Sharon. Great to see you, ma'am. Oh, okay. Not a problem, Mark. The whole thing just really upset me when there I am, 5 o'clock in the morning, the alarms go off. I wake up. By alarm, I mean the alarm that I have set for every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when I get up. So you're wondering why I don't hang out for some of those midnight shows at my time? It's because 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. I'm going, I'm doing stuff. One of the first things I do is I check the news. Two things. What is the temperature going to be like? / what's the weather going to be like? Am I going to need to dress a certain way? Just is what it is. And, by the way, howdy Zippo765. Great to see you, sir. And Steve and Miss Kathy, howdy. Great to see you as well. And then the second thing I do is I go in to check the news to see what is first 5 major headlines. Why do I check the first 5 major headlines? One, it gives me something to read later on if I have free time, because I can research and find out what was the deal with those headlines. And the other thing I can do is if I see a headline that absolutely grabs my attention, I can read it right then and there before everything really goes to crap in the day. I'm looking forward to the day where they say, you know what, COVID is no big deal anymore. We've figured it out that we're just going to have to live with it. And too bad if it kills you. Or something like that. I'm looking forward to that point. I figure once that gets announced worldwide, it will be major news. It hadn't been announced yet, but I'm looking for it. I'm constantly looking forward to being able to hear, I no longer have to worry about a vaccine or any of these other drugs that might show effect on COVID, but we're not allowed to discuss them. One of them starts with a letter that sounds surprisingly like a body part. often hidden behind glasses. But I'm not going there. I'm not talking about that one. Or one of them sounds surprisingly a lot like hydrogen peroxide, but I'm not talking about that one either. I'm saying I want to live in a society where I don't have to worry about this, that, the other. I can just go in, go back to work, and everything's back to normal and we're all good. I don't catch those very often, but as soon as I catch one of those, I'm putting out a video. Hey, look, it's right there. And I will screenshot the hell out of stuff. Just because. By the way, for anybody that missed Stumbo, I'm going to have to upload some media here if I can do it. Let me see here. I got to upload 3 pictures. And I will show you those 3 pictures here in just a second. You know what? We're going to start with this one. Okay. Now, I know y'all are all sitting here looking at this and y'all are wondering, why in the hell am I showing y'all a picture of eggs on a stove from this morning? And what's all that seasoning and stuff? Look, I make these every day for my wife. She likes a certain seasoning blend that I do on the fly. Literally, it's some various different stuff. Don't worry about it. That is 2 eggs in a cast iron skillet. Okay, we got that. Cast iron skillet. There's picture 1. Picture 2. This is the same pan. You'll notice that nothing really stuck. I mean, there's a little bit of seasonings that I wasn't going to just scrape to get off of there real quick. Some of that is maybe some salt or pepper. Okay. No big deal. It is what it is. And then the last picture is of... Here, this is shortly before putting it away. But that is what a cast iron skillet should look like, more or less, just before you put it away after cooking. There's not really much to cast iron. You just you cook stuff, and if it needs a slight abrasive something, you don't have to scrub all that hard if you know what you're doing with. And then, howdy Todd, great to see you, sir. In case y'all are wondering, Onion's daughter, Sadie, she was on with her dad and Stumbo last night, and she was saying something about hating to use cast iron because you can't clean it. Or she can't clean it, or something. And I don't understand that statement, because look, do I look like Mr. Clean? I mean, I still got some hair up on top. I am not the I'm not that guy that's going to sit there and use something that I've got to scrub on for half an hour. And people will tell you eggs is the worst thing you could possibly cook in a cast iron skillet or frying pan. Howdy, Southern Piper. And of which I will look at you square in the eye and say, you know what? A little bit of butter and nothing will stick to a cast iron pan. Nothing. Zero. I mean, people look at me like I'm crazy when I tell them, hey, I cook eggs in my cast iron skillet every damn day. And they think I'm lying about it. I'm obviously not lying about it. I showed you a picture of eggs cooking in a cast iron skillet. Oh, Sharon, it's super easy to cook an egg. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Mark. You don't put anything cold into a cast iron unless it's cold hamburger and you're going to brown it. Oh, and you know all those commercials out there that say, this is the most durable non-stick pan in the world? I will smash their pans with my cast iron, and my cast iron will not dent, and their pans will be destroyed. Ah, yes. I'm just having a hard time getting the words to be where I can see them. Sorry about that. Zippo, yeah, most people will not season a cast iron properly. They can't, and a lot of people cannot figure out that a black cast iron pan is a good cast iron pan. I've seen people scrub them back to gray metal, and I wanted to cry because I knew what it's going to take to get it back to that seasoned. You'll never get it all the way back, but you can do as much as you can. Boris the Piper. Hey, Paul was talking about you, and then he changed the last name to Johnson or Yeltsin or something like that. Don't worry, Boris. Paul wasn't actually talking about you. By the way, this big monster stick is the Padron 7000 Maduro. It is the largest stick Padron makes. It is technically box pressed. If you look closely, you can see that it is square on the sides. But it is so big around that it doesn't feel box pressed as I wiggle it around in my hand. So I'm just saying. I like this one. If I could just fax these to people, I certainly would. Howdy, James. Great to see you, sir. James, were you here to see the cast iron expose? If not, I will go back and go through it again. People think I'm lying. about me loving cast iron. No, I love cast iron. I would have a whole kitchen full of it, except for the fact that my mother-in-law would never cook again because it's all too heavy for her. Well, James, it's because we spent so much time on it yesterday. I had to do something about it today. And I wanted to make sure that people who thought that maybe I'm off my rocker saying stuff like I cook eggs in my cast iron pan every day, they could look at me and go, oh, you're lying. But they can't look at those pictures because those were taken today. Oh, and the second picture and the third picture were taken less than 20 seconds apart. Quite literally, I sprayed it with some hot water to remove the seasoning that I don't want to stay on there. And then I wiped it with a paper towel. That was it. Now, you can leave too much seasoning on a cast iron. You want to make sure that you remove any traces of salt, which will cause a cast iron pan to rust. And by traces, I mean like the crystals that are still left on the cooking surface. Found that one out the hard way. Don't ask. Won't do that again. I just wiped out a cast iron pan, but I didn't knock all the salt off of there, and what had been cooked was it was salt pork. That's what had been cooked in it. And because it was already salty, I guess some of those crystals had somehow stuck into the coating, what we call seasoning, and those crystals caused a couple of spots of rust. Getting those spots of rust out of that pan took a while. I don't want to do that again, so what I've learned is you spray it down with some hot water and then wipe it off really good with a paper towel. Done. Nothing. Other than that, there's some people that say spraying it down with the hot water is wrong. Okay. But if you're not heating those seasonings, then it won't weld itself into the non-stickative type surface, and it could possibly show up in bacteria later on. But hey, Jose, I'm about to say it. There's not a Padron on the market that I don't like. But if I know I'm going to sit around for a while, I think the 7000 is probably one of the best ones. There is a natural and there is a Maduro. All right, let me see what James said. Ah, yes, talking about Germain's tobaccos. Yes. I've had a pinch or two. I can't say that I've had enough to be like some sort of connoisseur, but howdy, Matthew. Great to see you, sir. And of course, James will be leaving us here in about 15 minutes because, what is it, ECW or WCW? Well, there's some wrestling coming on. It comes on Wednesdays there in the Tennessee area. And I completely respect that he's spending time with his son. Burley Nut Bob, howdy, sir. Great to see you, sir. AEW Dynamite. Okay. I knew it was something like that. I didn't remember which one. But hey, you can still stare at your beer. Probably with fear, because I know what it tasted like. Steve, that is very true. You can always put them upside down into the fire and burn off pretty much everything. But right now I do not have a grill that I care to use to season a cast iron pan. And what I'm saying by I don't have a grill, I don't have a smoker. If I had a smoker, the kind that I like anyways, then it's easy. You put it in there with some pork belly, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of butter, and you let it go for hours. The longer you can let it just cook and smoke and sizzle and let the fat soak into the metal and do what it does, the better off it'll be. I mean, I've got the ability to, do like burgers and stuff like that, but the last smoker I had kind of started falling apart, and instead of it being dangerous when I wasn't here with just my mother-in-law here, I took it apart and got rid of it. Kind of a sad point for me, but yeah, I love cooking outside. Especially here in the Houston area where we have pretty much 12 months of the year with really warm weather. You know how blessed great it is to walk outside and take all that heat from cooking and leave it outside? I do. I love that part. Oh, and then there's things like Texas style brisket. You can't get that on. You can't really get that on. I mean, there's no way you'll ever do it really on a gas grill. And you can do it on a charcoal grill, but good Lord, it takes so much work to do it right on a charcoal grill. It's enough work on a charcoal grill that I won't do it. Maybe it's because I'm lazy, but it is what it is. Now, I'm going to tell you right now the reason why I'm letting them talk about tobacco and I'm not, because I don't know enough. Quite literally, I do not know enough to do much of anything other than read the comments and go, huh. Oh, okay. And some of these blends I have tried, but like just a pinch or a small little cut. And some of them I just don't remember well enough to tell y'all anything about it. So that's fine. Gentlemen, keep talking. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I mean, there was a time when some dentist off in Arkansas decided that, hey, he saw somebody here on my channel live and he really wanted this pipe from a guy who is really well known for making pipes. Just ask Todd Arnold, he'll tell you. I believe it was a Prince with a white stem. Beautiful pipe. Somehow it made it up to Canada. Zippo, no, don't worry. There's no reason to hush. But yeah, so some dentist in Arkansas decided he wanted a pipe from some pipe maker in the Sacramento area, but somehow the pipe had gotten all the way up to Canada, and he wanted to make sure that his co-business owner and wife didn't know that he had decided to get that particular tobacco smoking instrument. And they made it happen right here on my show, and I was more than happy to let it happen, because you know what? I've told y'all this before. This is our tailgate. Not my tailgate. And yes, it is the tailgate for hanging out and doing this. This is a great place to do this. It's not a problem. Even if I don't have anything I can add to it. I don't know everything about everything. Some of the great part about this, I'm reading this and I get to just look at it and go, okay. Oh, Sharon, I know lots of things about tobacco that a lot of people don't know, but I know more about cigars than I do about pipe blends. And Bob's Chocolate Flake, I have never tried it because I'm afraid it would taste like chocolate, and I don't want a tobacco that tastes like chocolate. Eventually I will break down and read a review or something about it, and I will probably find that it tastes nothing like chocolate. It's just the color, and therefore I shouldn't have been fearful. Let's see, I have some Innerdale. I haven't opened the tin yet. But yeah, this is great. This is what tailgates are. Burley Nut Bob has a question. Whatever you feel like asking, Bob. There's no wrong questions in here. This is just like a real tailgate, though. The conversation goes where it wants to go. It doesn't need me to steer it. I just happen to be one more person who's here. And instead of typing, I'm just going to throw my comments out here vocally. If I knew enough to actually comment. Zippo, I heard from several people that Innerdale is very Lakelandy. And I have no idea what that actually means. But I'm okay. I'll give it a shot. I'm just hoping it's not as bad as Captain Black Grape. Because, man, I got graped so badly by Willie. Ugh. All right, Zippo, what do you want to barbecue? Tell me what you want in the barbecue. That'd be fine. We can talk about that. We can let them talk about tobacco, and you and I can talk about barbecue. It's not a big deal. I have tried Mountain Camp, but I really like a lot of Kia blends. I remember it being quite smoky. And I remember enjoying Engine 99 better than Mountain Camp. James! Not the one in Kentucky, but the one over on the West Coast. You know, where things get weird. Okay, so Matthew, the first blend I ever tried where I understood what people were saying about soapy was Psyllium Black. Comes in this awesome looking tin. Tastes like somebody walked through the shampoo aisle at Walmart and left every bottle open, and that floral, for me it was just horrible. But Bob, what's your question, brother? We're still waiting. Not a problem. We like questions. How do you learn? You learn by asking questions. Wait, did Andrew come in here and I missed it? Or Andrew... Oh, Southern Piper Andrew. Okay. I thought possibly Andrew Sirigliano was in here, and I was like, did I miss him? Doc! The real McCoy. I know. It's Hatfield. Doc, it is going amazingly well. I had a little bit of a rant at the very beginning of this, just because what I read via what Google sent to me this morning, I've been stewing on it all day. Just couldn't believe what I read. And then well, James, you take care and give the whole family a hug for me. Well, us, all of us. And, you know, I'd blow Kim a kiss, but that's kind of your thing. So I'm not doing it. Just saying. Bob, I have noticed that a lot. That's actually a natural pairing, is cigars and bourbon. If you find that you enjoy one and you find that you enjoy the other and you combine them, it just seems to bring out the better qualities of both. Scotch is very similar that way to cigars also. But I have a little bit of a harder time finding a Scotch that I like as well as I like bourbons. Well, that's a good question, Southern. I didn't know I had a place up there. Oh yeah, cognac is good with cigars. There's. Oh, very nice. The 2003 Cameroon. Yeah, those got really hard to get there for a little while. Oh, Papa Dom's. Okay, I've got a cat scratching at the door. Give me a second, people. Come on. I know you'll run back in there if you even think you saw a dog. If I don't let him out, he'll pee on things inside. Cats are like that, though. Hey, you know what? Dogs are like that, too. You gotta let them out sooner or later. Robert, howdy, sir. Great to see you. Matthew, I know a lot of people that like rye with a good cigar, but I've never been able to really get into rye. It just has that steady burn, and I like the peppers in the cigar. I don't like that to be the only note that I'm getting. All right, Matthew, that even caught me laughing. Yes, Robert. Congratulations on Cosmo's, let's see, what was it? The Secret GAW. I saw that earlier today. Took a couple minutes and had a bowl earlier today and was like, oh, cool, Robert won. And then I kind of put it out of my mind because it wasn't me. Well, yeah, Jose, there's a lot of people that like rye. It's no big deal. I don't even like rye bread, though. So maybe that's what it is. If you just don't like the flavor of something, it's not like you're ever really going to really acquire a taste for it. Oh, hey, Boris. Here's one for you. My wife was on the phone earlier today, and they were talking about some dangerous goods cargo that were supposedly coming out of Finland and something or other. And my wife said, well, is it that Finnish fermented fish? And I said, I was all the way across the house, and I screamed out, that fish is Sweden, and it's called surströmming or something like that. She looked it up, and then all of a sudden I heard her say, actually, that stuff's from Sweden. Later she says, how in the hell did you know that stuff was from Sweden? And I was like, well, maybe it's because I got a friend in Finland. Just saying. Doc, I know rye whiskey and rye bread, they're not the same. It doesn't have the same flavor at all, but I don't like either one, so I don't know what my deal is there. Howdy, Ron. Great to see you, sir. Oh, and something else. There is a phrase in Finnish that if you screw up and you don't add the dots, it means, should I marry Grandpa? But if you put the dots, it means something to the effect of, did I see that right? Oh, Derek, that's being mean to Jeff. Or maybe it's not being mean to Jeff. Maybe you're just being mean to all the people that are going to be around Jeff. Surströmming is pretty potent stuff in the smell category. And I'm fairly certain Boris knows exactly the phrase that I was talking about. Oh, and something else showed up today in one of my some of the weird people I know out there in the world. He sent me a thing that was all K and O. Starts with K-O-K-O, and it starts varying from there. But he said, that's a whole conversation in Finnish. And I was laughing because it sounded like something that's probably true. Oh, and he also told me to relay this joke to Boris. He said, people in Finland, it's 20 degrees Celsius outside, and they will say it is too hot. But they will get into a sauna and they will have it up to 80 degrees Celsius and they will say it is too cold. Oh, wow. Look, Boris just typed it in with the dots and without the dots. And like I said, did I saw right? And something about with Grandpa. Anyways, a friend of mine sent me a whole bunch of jokes, and I'm only relaying the funniest ones. And this guy was stationed somewhere in Finland or Norway or Sweden for about 15 years of his life. So he had enough time to actually learn a little bit of the languages up there. And what it means to be really cold, which is how he enjoys my company, because he's like, boy, you don't even know what it is to be cold. He's about 20 years older than me. So when he calls me boy, I don't take offense. But he was throwing me some Finnish jokes, and because I knew Boris, I was like, go ahead, give me more. This is awesome. Though the one about the dots and their correct placement kind of surprised me. And then Boris's explanation of it surprises me even more than what he said. Maybe he didn't know the full-on truth of that phrase. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Boris like a brother. And Boris, if I've offended you by putting you on the spot like this, with these Finnish representations, please just let me know. But the thing is, I can actually see those conversations happening. Knowing how stout and hardy the Finnish people tend to be, I can understand where they're saying 20 degrees Celsius is too hot and 80 degrees Celsius in a sauna is too cold. I understand. All right. Oh, Boris, I love your language too. I don't speak very much of it. And it takes me a long time to get my brain around mimicking what the language sounds like. I'm not good with languages. Let me be honest about that. But let's see. Mafia just went live. I know they're still in the black screen, but we're going to jump on over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being here. It has been so much fun. Sorry about my rant earlier. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody. Please take care of yourselves. Do the best you can with that. And take care of each other. Y'all know I love all of you. Josh, great to see you, sir. And as per always, y'all remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care. I'll see you over at the Nashville Mafia here in just a minute. Bye for now.